Before finding Get Going Fast, I was sad and alone. Now I'm sad and alone, but also have AI.
Hey there, y'all, and welcome back to Get Going Fast, where we're getting into this excellent hobby AI in a quick and efficient manner in which you might actually learn something. And today we are going to be taking a look at a brand new model just kind of hit the scene. It is called OVI. It is from Character.ai, which is known for its chatbot's been in the news a lot. So good on Character.ai because they've been kind of getting a lot of backlash, but they're still putting out good stuff. So this is actually a lip syncing video gen. I believe it's based on 1.2.0. And essentially what it's going to be able to do is just take either text or an image, and in the image, what it wants to say, and it creates a 5-second clip, and it is linked down to 5 seconds. We're going to look at stuff like this. You're going to be able to create.
Breaking news, Get Going Fast is the best way to get into the exciting hobby of AI quickly.
Okay, so very cool stuff. We'll show you some more examples here when we get going. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to walk through this, guys. This is not, there's two ways we're going to install this. I have ported this over to my own GitHub, and that's going to be the easy way to manually install this. Of course, as usual, I have gone ahead and made a quick installer over here so we can just get going fast. You don't have to deal with all this if you just want to get to playing. But what we're going to do with this is I'm going to actually take you through the official repo, because there is some interesting not mistakes, but stuff that has to get fixed. Okay, so I think one, you're going to find it interesting in that I'm going to walk you through how to fix some stuff. And the other thing is, if you don't end up on my repo, but you end up at the Character.ai, I'm going to show you how to fix this stuff so that it all works for you. Very cool. But before we do that, I want to thank you so much for liking the channel, subscribing, and telling your friends about it. Getting up on that fence like an old alley cat, you know, like old Heathcliff. He was out there and he'd be like, man, and they throw the shoe at him. I appreciate you doing the same thing. Getting out there late at night, being like, it's Get Going Fast and AI and woo! And if someone hits you with a shoe, that means your message is getting through. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. Yo. All right. Well, we're going to move on here with this. Getting OVI, Character.ai's OVI. Very cool, very high quality. Not completely perfect, but I think you guys are going to like what we're working with. So let's get on with the Owen. All right, well, let's pop on over to our browser here, and we're going to be looking for this repo. Now, again, we're going to use two different repos here to actually get this going. We're going to be using the Character.ai repo, and then we're going to be using my repo because it's got the fixed stuff in it, okay? So to find the first one, what we're going to type is, we're going to move my microphone, then we're going to go like this. We're going to type in OVI GitHub, and it's going to pop up a couple different ones. You want actually this one down here. So I think this actually is going to take you to a discussion board. So, but you want this one. OVI video and audio generation. Oh, no, I had it backwards. This is the discussion. This is the one we want. Okay. So we go and click on that one, and it's going to bring us up to here. And I'm going to use this here to show you kind of the videos, but we're going to use instructions from elsewhere. But just so you know, we're going to clone from here, but use instructions elsewhere. But let's look at some examples. This is what it has going.
To revenge.
Send the boys. They are launching GPT-9.
The war between AI and human has started. No one is safe.
War started! Human stands no chance!
All right, so those are very optimistic videos. Okay, so we went ahead and I got a couple of my own that I ran here. These took about 5 minutes to make. It's about 1 minute per second.
Breaking news, Get Going Fast is the best way to get into the exciting hobby of AI quickly.
Okay, and you're going to notice that these all cut off just like a tiny second right before the end. That is a flaw in this model, but whatever. We're going to still very good.
Before finding Get Going Fast, I was sad and alone. Now I'm sad and alone, but also have AI.
All right, so I made those with mine. So let's go ahead. I'm going to close these out. Okay, now again, this is the repo that we're going to end up cloning from because I want to get these files down so that I can show you how to actually fix the errors that come with them. But we're going to actually end up doing the installation instructions from over here. So if you go to github.com, GJNave OVI, okay, and I can put that in the description and all that, it's going to bring you up to here. Okay, so this is my repository with updated files and whatnot. And we're going to follow these instructions here, okay, except for that we don't have the git clone on here, but okay, whatever. So let's get to it. Okay, again, we're going to pop over to here and we're going to grab this repo, okay, just in case in the future you guys, someone out there is popping around. I'm just going to show you how to fix this stuff. So we're going to go to our command prompt. That's what I'm going to do. Easiest way to put the stuff. And I'm going to just make a directory. I'm going to type mkdir. Let's just call it OVI. You know, actually, you should have something called AI tools. So let's actually go. I've got an AI tools directory already. If you don't have one, type mkdir AI-tools. Okay, and the reason for this is it just helps us to organize our stuff. Otherwise, we get folders all over the place. So once you created that, type cd AI tools, which means change directory. We're going to go in there. Now I'm going to make another directory. Actually, I don't even have to make another directory. Actually, I am. I'm going to go mkdir make directory ov. Okay, I'm going to go change directory OV. Now I'm going to go in here. So I'm going to have an OV file within an OV file, but this way it just helps keep separated. I can have a run.bat file in here. It's going to be great. Okay, so you'll notice on here, if I type directory, I'm in the AI tools OV folder, and then in here, oops, we're going to git clone this thing. So let's go back over to our browser and we're going to grab this one. Now, again, if you just want to do it, if you don't want to care about fixing the stuff, you can go grab the repo, my repo over here. But we're going to try to learn something today. So we're going to use this one. We're just going to highlight this, hit copy. Then we're going to pop on back over to YAR and let's type git and clone. Okay, so git is the app that pulls all our repositories down. So we're calling it. We're going to say we want to clone something, but it needs to know what to clone. So we're going to hit Control V, and it's going to put in the address of that repo. Okay, so let's just hit that. I want to show you while that's doing that. Notice over here, the address actually was more than that, I think. Oh, sometimes it'll say like head or main. You want to just only get the part, the OV part. Okay, anyway, let's go back over here. Now if we type dir, you're going to see that we have created another OVI folder. Okay, so we're in AI tools, OVI, and we're going to go change directory, OVI. So now we are in here. If I type dir for directory, it's going to show us everything that's in that file that we're going to work with. Okay, great news. So that being said, let's pop back to our browser. Now we're going to switch over to my repo because we're going to start following the directions here. So I have so some of this stuff like does not work right out of the box. So some of this stuff you just copy and paste it. I'll try to explain it as we go, but this is the order of things. This is the amount of things that I have found that gets us working. I test it like multiple times. So we'll just follow this right through. So we're going to go over here and we're going to grab this one. So it's python-m venv venv. And that is going to set up our virtual environment. Okay, so actually I'm going to type CLS to clear my screen. I'm just going to paste it in. So Python, what it can do is it calls this app, we're calling this app called Vim, and we're just giving it the name Vim. We could name it whatever we want. We could name it, you know, my Vim or whatever, but we're just going to call it Vim. because that's an easy way to do it. So we go ahead and do that. That's going to go ahead and create directory. So if I type dir, you're going to see there's now a directory. Oops, you're going to see there's now a directory here. Okay. So now we got to activate it. Okay. Virtual environment is basically just meaning that we can set up dependencies. We can set up an app without it affecting our other machine. Okay. So we're going to copy this. Now I notice I've got a little error here. So let me fix this really quick. I'm going to go in here and we need to add the word call. All right, so now we're going to come back here. We're going to copy this, call vim script activate. And what this is going to do for us is it's going to actually use the virtual environment we just made. Now you'll notice we hit it and look at that. We are in the virtual environment. Now, no matter what I do, see, it's going to keep us in that environment. It put the name. If we had put my favorite environment, that would say it there each time. So noticing as I clear the screen, we're still in the virtual environment. Okay, so we're going to go here. We're going to grab this. Next one says Python-m pip install upgrade pip setup tools and wheels. So essentially what we're doing is we have to have Python on our machine, and we're calling the actual Python that we're using. That's why we put it in here. And we're saying that we want it to upgrade itself. Okay, this is basically a way of saying Python, take your pip application, your package installer. Pip is our package installer. We're going to use it a lot here. And it's going to say upgrade it. Okay, so it's like a it's telling Pip to upgrade itself, right? You say, hey Pip, you usually upgrade other things. I want you to upgrade it yourself. So that's why we go install. We put this -- upgrade. It means get the newest version. And then we're saying do it with pip. But we're also now saying do it with the setup tools and with wheel. And we don't need to worry too much about these other than to know that these things are important for how Python downloads and builds things. So essentially what we're doing is we're just saying make sure everything is the newest version. Okay. So we've done that. This is all the setup. This is like having a shovel, and before you shovel, you're actually taking a thing and you're making like a razor edge. You're actually honing the side of the shovel before you start digging so that it works easier. Okay. So we're going to go down here, grab this next one, pip install typing extensions. This is going to be important for when we install our CUDA stuff. Okay. Sometimes you'll get errors that say something about your CUDA doesn't have the right typing extensions or it doesn't have it. This is going to fix that, okay? So same thing, we're just going to paste it. Now we're calling the upgraded Python package installer. We're saying, hey, we want you to install something. I want you to install typing extensions, but here's the thing. I don't want you just to upgrade it. I want you to use a very particular version, and that's the version I want, okay? Because sometimes that they do is they as they create new versions of things, they add new functions. And so sometimes an app that's using a particular version, the new version comes up and maybe it doesn't have that stuff in there anymore, or it's done something different, and so it doesn't work. So we're saying let's go back to a version we know that works, and that's why we chose it for 0.12.2. Now I'm going to hit clear screen again. Clear screen, clear mind. Okay, now we're going to go over here and we're going to install this Torch. This is one of those funny things, like Torch has gotten, it used to be, believe it or not, it actually used to be a little bit easier to just install Torch. It's getting, with the 50 series, really changed the game. So a lot of times I will use a Torch install that in the past worked, and it doesn't work no more. So I'll throw it into ChatGPT and it goes, you got to use this new one. I'm like, okay, whatever. So this is the one. We're calling we're calling the Python package installer. We're saying we want to install Torch 2.0, Torch Vision, Torch Audio, and then we're using this --index.url. We're saying go get these versions, but don't just get any old version. Get the ones that's found at this place, okay? This is going to be the CUDA version. It's like mom sending you to the store and she says, I want you to go get milk. And you go, okay. But she's like, don't just get any milk. Get this brand of milk from this store, okay? Because you just go out and get milk and she's like, oh, you got garbage milk. I wanted it from this store, from this place, because they got the best milk. Okay, that's what we're doing here by using this --index.url. So we're going to go ahead and enter. Now, this will likely take some time on your computer because it probably has to download it. Okay, mine's cached, so it'll go a little bit faster. Okay, cache just means it already downloaded it. Okay, but it's still going to take some time because it has to actually actually install the thing. Okay, so I'm going to hit pause. It's going to go ahead and do all this. Oops, stupid. Gosh, man, if I could move the right stuff. Okay, we'll move that down there. I'll pause this. It'll probably take 3, 4, or 5 minutes. I don't know. We'll find out. It'll feel like just a second for you. So don't worry. We'll be right back. Okay, so that finished there. Now, what we can always do is scroll back up just to see if there's any errors. Sometimes when you're doing Torch, you'll get errors. If you ever see an error and it's like yellow, you'll probably find it's just kind of a warning, right? But it's the red ones that you really... gosh, man, if I could... I'm trying to grab my picture here and it keeps grabbing the wrong thing. All right. The red ones you got to be a little more careful for. But anyway, assuming everything moved forward correctly, we're going to head back to our browser. And now we're going to install all this stuff. Now, we're going to install a whole bunch of stuff in one swipe here. Okay? Because sometimes I'm going to show you what happens. You see, these repositories, they have what's called a requirements.txt file, and that's saying these are all the dependencies that you have to have, that this thing has, but it doesn't always have everything in there, okay? And I think the reason is because people that are doing developing, they're developing on their computer, and some of these things they already have on there, and so they just don't think to add it. So we're going to add some of this stuff in here that I know it needs. So after doing the main instructions from Character.ai, this is the leftover stuff that I end up having to add for different reasons. Okay, so let's copy all of this. Once again, go back to here. Actually, let's clear the screen. Another nice thing about clearing the screen is that then if you do get errors, it's easy to see that they're not, where they're coming from. So we'll hit Control V, same thing, pip, we're calling the package installer. We're going, hey, pip, I want you to install some stuff. I want you to install Gradio, Transformers, Hugging Face Hub, TQGM, Safe Tensors, NumBy, PyYAML, Requests, Pillow, Soundfile, Librosa, and INOPS, okay? And it'll go through there. And again, this is a lot of downloading, okay? AI software it's not for the faint of heart, okay, or the small of hard drive. So it's going to go through here, get all these things. Again, kind of keep your eye for yellow or red stuff popping up. But this is going to take a little bit of time too, so I'll hit the pause, and we'll be right back again. Okay, and that didn't take that long, so it's going on for like half a minute or so. But let's pop back to here. Okay, now, this requires flash attention, okay? The instructions over here are not going to have this part. It's just going to say you need flash. So, you need to figure out which Python version you have, and then we're going to pick one of these things to do it. So, to figure out which Python version you have, we're going to type Python, and we're going to go -- version, okay? And it'll tell you which one you're using. You should be using 3.10. But it'll pop it up. Now what we'll do is we go back to your browser, and you can find the one. See, this one's 3.10. There's 3.11, 3.12, 3.13. So we're going to go ahead and copy this whole thing. Go back to our command, paste it in. So pip install, and we're saying install this file, which is found at this location. That's what we're saying. So we'll go ahead and do that. So it says collecting, which just means it's downloading it. And then it will install it. Okay. If you grab the wrong one, it'll fail. So like if I had grabbed the one that said 3.11 and tried to install it, it would have given an error. All right, so there, it's done. Okay, that's actually really easy stuff. No errors. Okay, we're great. Clear the screen again. So now we can skip the rest of these. Grab the insight face. Right, so pip install insight face, and again, we're using two equal signs. So we're saying the version is 0.7.3. So let that do its thing. We're going to pop over, grab Triton. So you have to have this. If you install Flash-Attention and you do not install Triton, you will get an error. Okay, so we will go copy that. And we'll head back here, and it's not ready for us yet. Oh, there it is. So now we'll paste that in. Pip install. Now what we're doing is we're saying install this app called Triton Windows, but it needs to be we don't care what version it is, as long as that version is less than 3.5. That's what that code means, okay? So we're not saying that we want 3.5, but we're saying in fact, we don't want 3.5. Okay, we're saying we don't want 3.5 or 3.5.1. We don't want 3.6. We just want 3.4 or 3.3 or whichever version is going to work for us that's less than 3.5. Okay, so that was easy. That popped. Okay, now we're going to go in here to our requirements.txt. Okay, so this is the one. Now we need to check something out because we've already installed our torch, and we have to be very careful when we're installing requirements.txt files because it can uninstall our torch. So let's go. I'm going to actually clear my screen. I'm going to type the word type, and I'm going to say requirements.txt. So this is going to output the entire folder. Now I just want to look through here and make sure it doesn't say torch. Okay. Okay, look, it actually had some of those ones I had already mentioned. Okay, but we put them there just anyways. So I don't see anything about torch in there. So that is a good thing. Okay, because we do not want torch. Another way that the reason we don't want torch is because it would uninstall the one that we already did. Another way we could do it is go back to the original repo and click the requirements.txt there. Okay. Notice it's not there. All right, so we're here. Now we'll paste this in. So pip install. So we're going, hey pip, I want you to install something, but -R. I want you to get it from a file. I want, because normally I type in the names, librosa, numpy, pyyaml. Get that list, but get it from a file, okay? Don't ask me, ask to get it from the file, yo. -R. And that's the name of the file. So it's going to go through there. It's going to download each one of those. And then once this is done, we're going to be close to done, okay? We're going to go ahead and we're going to download the models, okay? And then we'll get into fixing the app because we get some errors. So I'll pause this and be right back. Oh, okay, so actually I didn't need to pause it. Now, check this out. Pip's dependency resolver does not currently take account all the packages that are installed. This behavior is the source of the following conflict. OpenCV Python headless requires numpy, but you have numpy, which is incompatible. Okay, we're not going to worry about this right now because I'm going to tell you this error doesn't matter to us. Okay, it's hard to tell sometimes which errors matter. I'm going to just tell you this one don't matter. What I would normally do is just take all this and throw it all into ChatGPT. But if you do it, I'm going to tell you ChatGPT is going to say she don't matter. Okay. Okay, now that we've got the requirements installed, we need to start downloading the weights. And so we're going to run a file that's actually here in our directory. You're going to see it's called download weights.py. Now this is a Python file, and so they have created this so that it will get everything we need and put it in the location. Now if we look at our instructions here, we're going to actually run this, but then we're going to go and afterwards we're going to do some manual stuff as well because it's going to give us the big stuff, and then we got to kind of get the smaller stuff that's going to work for us. We're going to end up getting the FP8 version. Okay, so let's just go ahead and grab this. Okay, let's pop over to our command prompt, and then we're going to paste that in there. So again, we're calling Python is our app. So we're saying, hey, Python, we need you to run a Python file. named download_waits.py. You know it's a Python file because it ends with py. Now notice we're giving it some parameters. We're going to say output directory is going to be in a folder called checkpoints. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. And now it's going to run through there, and now it's going to take a while. Okay, look, it's going to download a 500 megabyte file. Then it's going to download a 687 megabyte file, you know, and then after that, it's got another 687. So you're going to end up downloading some gigs. It's going to do its thing. Now look at this. Now it's going to download this 23 gigabyte one, which is actually, I don't think is the one we want, because we're going to replace it. But for now, we'll just let it down. Okay, so we'll pause and we will be back when this is done, and we'll move on to everything else. Now if we type dir, you'll see there's a folder called checkpoints. Okay, so let's clear the screen again. Now we'll go back over to here, and we're going to download the model. So let's copy this whole thing. Actually, we're going to have to. Okay, we're actually going to have to do something here with this because this isn't going to. Oh, I guess it will. Okay, so what we're doing is we're saying curl is a curl. I don't know what it stands for, but it basically it downloads things. Okay, so we're saying curl. We're going to download from a link, and we want you to rename it. That's what this -L and the -O means. So we're going to say the thing that we're downloading. I want you to put it into this folder. So checkpoints OVI. Okay. And I want you to name it this. So no matter what its actual name is, this is what I want you to name it. Okay, we put this because I don't think we're going to need that. But we'll see what happens if we hit enter with it. Because that is typically when you're doing bat file stuff, to do multiple lines with command prompt, you have to do that. But anyway, we'll see if it works with it or not. Okay, so now we say this is what we're going to call it, but this is where we want to download it from. So it's going to download this, and it's going to name it this, and it's going to put it here. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so there you go. So now this will take a while, okay, because these are big models. So look at that. That's a 10.8 gigabyte model. So it's definitely going to take a bit of time. I got pretty fast internet. It's still going to take me 2.5 minutes to get that done. So we'll pause. I'll be back when it's done, and then we'll continue on. And then now we have it. We have it done. Okay, so we should have all of our models downloaded now. Okay, if we go back here, okay, we're ready to run it. You can see here now. Remember to activate your Python virtual environment each time you run this. So whenever you come to run this, you're going to need to make sure that you're in your venv folder. That's where we use our call venv scripts activate. Okay, so you got to make sure you're in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to run it by using this. Okay, and I'll explain it to you when we go over here. We're going to paste this in. So we're going to call Python, and then we put a Python file after it. So we know it's a Python file because it says py. So Python is going to interpret it. This file. It's going to say, "Oh, this is my language, yo. Here's what we're going to do with it." Now, notice we're putting in some parameters. So we're going to say CPU offload. So it's going to take some of the resources off the video card, use our CPU for it, because our video cards aren't going to be really big enough. Remember, this is really for the lowest is really 24 gigabytes. But then we're going to put this other one here that says convert it into this FP8 or use the FP8 model. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and run this, but we're going to get an error. Okay, and that's fine because I'm going to show you how to fix it. Okay, now, but again, remember, if we're running this from, from over, if you're downloading it from here, these files are going to be fixed, or if you're running it over from the Get Going Fast site, all of it will be done as well. But I'm running this just so you guys can see the kind of errors we're going to get. Okay, so now this is going to start to do its magic. And here in just a second, you're going to get some weird messages, but it's fine. I'll explain it. In fact, I'll just pause this here while we wait, and I'll be right back. Okay, you can see it starts running this stuff, and we get these stuff up here, we just need to ignore it. It just says it's deprecated things that fine just mean that they worked in the past. They still work, but they're phasing them out. But notice we're going to get down here and we're going to get some errors down here. Okay. Pickle waits only load failed. Okay. All this kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is let's just highlight this, take it all the way up here to this trace back. Okay. In fact, we could just even take it higher just so it knows what we're doing. Let's copy this. Now what we're going to do, we're going to pop on over to our browser and we're going to go to ChatGPT and say, trying to run an app I've installed. And then let's just paste this in here and it's going to explain the error to us. Okay, so notice the error is in this file, VAE22. So it says that we need to find something that looks like this and we need to change it to this. Okay, and it tells us where the location is. It's in the modules folder and it's called VAE2E. So let's do this. Let's go to our command line and let's clear the screen. If I type dir, you can see I've got a folder called OVI. Okay, so that's where it said, oh, actually, if we go here, it actually says it's in OVI models. Okay, so we'll go over here and we'll type cd OVI. So we're like in OVI. All right, now we'll type directory and you'll see modules. So we're going to type cd modules. That means change directory modules. Now we're going to see there's a file called VAE2_2.py. So let's highlight it and copy it. And what we're going to do is type the word notepad and we're going to paste that in there. So this is going to open up the notepad like this. There we go. Okay. So let's click on over here and it says that we have to find a certain thing. So let's look for this where it says torch load. We'll copy this, go back to our notepad, and we're just going to press Control F for find. I'm going to paste it in there and hit enter. Okay, and look at there it is. So we're going to need to replace all of this. All right. So we go back to our browser and it says here that this is what we need to replace it with. So we'll copy that, go back to our notepad, and I'm going to hide this. But I want to show you something actually. So we're going to erase that, but I want to put this right underneath it because I want to show you something. Notice how many parentheses are here. 1, 2, 3. This one only has 2. So if we put this in here, it's going to throw an error because we got this is opening, this is open, this is closed, this is closed. Once we get rid of that, you have this is opening, this is opening, this is closed. And there's not a second close. So what we'll do is we'll just go like this and we'll put a paran there. So that's going to make sure it matches. You always have to make sure that as many, these parans mean that they're it's something inside of this. So it's putting something inside of this, it's putting something inside of this. You have to close it. So now we have 2 that are opening, we have 2 that are closing. Okay. So let's hit Control S and let's save this. Now let's go back to our command prompt again. This time, CLS, I'm going to hit the up arrow a whole bunch of times so I can get back to our original thing. Now we're going to hit this. Oh, notice we're still in the modules OVI folder. So we got to get back to this right here. So we need to go back 2 folders. So I'm going to type cd ... /... When you put ... that means back 1 folder. So I'm just saying go back 1 folder and then go back another folder. So now look where we're at. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and run this. And take a second here for it to thing. Okay, so notice it gave us another error. So that's fine because we knew it was going to happen. So we're going to copy it. Okay. We're going to go back to our browser. We're going to go back to our ChatGPT. And we're just going to paste this in here. And whoops, and see what it says. We're going to look through here. Okay, so it's saying that we need to change something again in the VA to file. So let's do this. Let's go back over to our notepad. Oops, let's open, wrong file. Let's open up this. And let's press Control A, Control C, and then let's just go back to our browser and say, here is VAE 2_2.py. We'll just paste it in there. So we'll let it take a look at it. See what it thinks. Okay, so it brought up a whole bunch of stuff. So it says, got it, your VAE builds on a meta device and tries to blah, 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 blah. So it wants us to replace a bunch of stuff here. So what we can do here is we can go through it bit by bit when to say, please just give me the whole file. Because otherwise you end up going through and you're like taking one piece out and you take another piece out. So we'll let it go ahead and redo it. It's not a huge long file, so it should be okay. Bop, bop. See how fast it's popping out. Okay, there we go. So we'll hit copy code. Now let's go over to our app and we'll just do a Control A and a Control V. Okay, there we go. Saved it. Good, good. Now let's pop over to our command prompt and try it again. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, so it gave us another error, so we'll copy this up. Just means ChatGPT messed something up, so we'll pop back over here. Okay, and here was the actual problem. And guys, this, I'm going to look at me in the face. This is the thing about using ChatGPT. Okay, yo, you got to watch out for this. Look what it did. We go in here and it actually says, you accidentally deleted the middle of the file. No, we didn't. You didn't give it to us. Okay, so remember up here, we said to it, it says, here's the corrected full working section. Okay, and it didn't give it to us. So you got to be careful with ChatGPT. You follow it right off a cliff. Look at that. I mean, look at that. It did not give us the whole file. So we're sitting here spinning our wheels when we shouldn't have trusted ChatGPT. You know, or you trust it to be itself, right? Like you trust it to make stupid mistakes like that. So we'll let this finish up and throw it in there. Give her another go. There we go. Let's just copy it. Stupid ChatGPT. This is where I get on there and I tell ChatGPT it's a jerk. Okay, so let's paste the rest of that in there. Let's see if it works. Stupid ChatGPT. Boop, 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 boop. All right, he's doing something now. There we go. Good Lord. That was the roundabout way of getting that file fixed. You know, it's in some ways I'm glad it happened, right? It's you guys remember Julia Childs? There was a Saturday Night Live thing where she's like, and you take the knife and then you take it through the apple and into the fleshy part of the skin. And she's like, oh dear, I seem to have cut myself. And blood starts going whoosh. And it's not really Julia Childs. I think it's like Dan Aykroyd. And he's like, in a way, she's like, in a way, I'm glad this happened because now I can teach you how to tie a tourniquet. So in the same way there, ChatGPT let us off a cliff. Like, phew. But I'm glad it happened because I can show you how to fix it. Okay. That's hilarious. So let's let this. It'll take a little bit of while because it's literally converting the model here for us to load. So we'll pause it. When it comes back, we should be in app. Oh my goodness. Okay, and there we go. So we found our way roundabout. ChatGPT fixed us, then broke us, and then fixed us again. Okay, so that does tell you you can't give your brain away to ChatGPT. You got to stay a little alert. So let's highlight this bad boy. Let's pop on over here and let's paste it in here over ChatGPT. And hey, look at that. There she is. Okay. Now I'm not going to run this because this does run heavy. Like I said, it'll take about 5 minutes to run. It locks down my computer even when I'm not running other stuff, but it will make it through here. So really quickly, you click here to drop your image. Okay. So you have a picture. Boop, bop, 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 bop. Now look up here. It says ensure text prompt format is correct, i.e. speech to be said should be wrapped with S and an E. So whatever you want to say, you're going to put the S and the E. So you can put this odd cap at the end. So that'll be things like people start clapping, or the what happens at the end of the thing. Okay. I think, is there an example here? Well, basically your text is going to look something like this. Okay. So we're going to go, an Indian man smiles at the camera and waves, or whatever he's going to do, right? He says, and this is very important, put a period. Don't say, and he says, I've discovered in this, hit a period, then say what he says. He says, now we can put in, whoops, that, remember it says we need to put stuff with inside an S and an E. We'll put that in there, and then we'll just delete these. He says, get going fast is so awesome. Makes my head swim. Okay. And then if you wanted to, you could do the end odd cap, and then you just generate it. It's literally that simple. You don't really need to change the stuff. You can change the seed. I mean, you could make the width and the height smaller so it'll go a little bit faster. There's really no need to mess with the rest of this, and it will pop. Now, as I mentioned before, one thing I've noticed about this is to get done talking about like a quarter of a second before it does, so it's pretty abrupt ending. So you just have to play with that. Let's see what this is really quick. Upload an image or generate one if image generation. If you do not see the image generation options, make sure to run the script with use image gen. Oh, well, that's cool. Let's try that really quick. I actually hadn't tried that before. So boot up and bop, bop, bop. Let's see what it does. Let's go over here. So it's running. I'm going to close the server by pressing Control C. Take just a second. Okay. Now let's press the up arrow again. But this time I'm going to paste in -- use image gen. Okay. And let's see what the difference is. I ain't tried it before, so we'll find out together. Okay, I'll pause it. Okay, and there's our answer right there. It says image generation is not supported with FP8 quantization. So there's our answer. So you can't do the image gen thing, but everything else will work. Get your image in there. Put your prompt down here. It actually has negative prompts, so that's nice. Sit back and wait, and if you got enough VRAM, it'll do it. Like I said, about 5 minutes for me to get her done. Okay, all right, you got it. Great app, guys. I think you're going to actually like this. So that was quite the ordeal. As I said, we went through it. Everything was pretty fairly good, and we get to the end. ChatGPT threw us through a loop, but hey, guys, that's how you use ChatGPT to troubleshoot stuff. Sometimes it leads you off a cliff, so you have to keep your brain intact, okay, and be looking at stuff to figure out what's going on. So hopefully this was a helpful episode for you. It was a bit long because we got into the weeds a little bit, but that's how you do it. Okay, as I mentioned before, okay, if you want to avoid all of that, okay, so that was the lesson. If you want to avoid all of that, you can just go over to my GitHub repository over here, and at the very beginning of this, instead of cloning the other one, clone this one. You won't have to worry about changing the files at all. You're still going to have to go through all these steps, but you want to change any files. If you want it the absolute easiest of all, then just go to ovi.getgoingfast.ro, okay? And that will actually take you over here. And then you can just download it, click it, and then you don't have to do any of the stuff. This is going to take you a while. This one will take you just a few minutes, okay? And it's free for, if you're a member over at getgoingfast.pro, you can get it for free. Or else you can buy it if you just want to buy it. But well, I don't know why you would bother. Just join as a member and you get everything. But, you know, different strokes, different folks, different strokes, right? All right. With that, we're going to say goodbye, and we'll give you a big old salute, yo. And we will catch up with you on the other side. But be sure to come connect with us on Instagram. You can find us on X. Come find us over on the Discord and hang out with us, okay? Hey, you guys be good to each other. Call your mom if she misses you. She wants to hear from you. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye.